I love that 30 seconds or so of just that sort of stripped down, da-da-da-da-da, death trap. Just, oh my God, that was so good.
It's showtime, folks.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Into the Music. My name is Greg, in case you don't know by now. 600 plus videos, but this might be your first time. You don't know who I am, well, now you do. And I listen to music on this channel. A lot of this music, a lot of music I don't know. And a lot of it is also obscure, hidden tracks, hidden gems, not the usual stuff that you hear on other reaction sites. That's just kind of like what I gravitate to. And also my buddies, my cohorts, my amigos, my colleagues on this channel, John and Andy, they're sort of cut from the same cloth, kindred spirits in that regard. So yeah, so on and on and on with that. And so tomfoolery, right? Jay has sort of caught on to that. And he's given me a song called Death Trap by Hawkwind. Now, I don't know the song Death Trap. I do know the band Hawkwind. Actually, reacted to a song of theirs back in February, and that was Hurry on Sundown. And that's an obscure song. And I like that song a lot. Actually, something I sort of listened to, I found out about a year ago, and I gave it to Andy. And so check out that episode. And so this one, again, Death Trap by Hawkwind. I don't know it. And, one thing, though, is that I usually pull up information to, sort of get into on the other side. And when I was pulling it up, okay, so it's on my computer over there, but when I was pulling up, 1979 seemed to just sort of jump out at me when the song came out. So I think Lemmy was not on this song then. I think Lemmy left in 75, if I'm not mistaken. So correct me if I'm wrong on that. So I'm really curious about the sound and the whole thing from this band, because Hurry on Sundown was very hippie-ish, and I really liked that. That was cool. And then I think Lemmy left in 75. That song might have came out, Hurry on Sundown, before Lemmy joined. Then Lemmy joins, and then he leaves in 75, and now this is 79. So anyway, so now I just took you down the whole sort of timeline. Let me shut up and get into the song, Death Trap by Hawkwind. Wow, has a punk element to it, but new wave. It's got a little bit of I just did Pete Shelley, even though I've known Pete Shelley songs for a very, very long time. But just with that in my mind recently, sounds a little bit like him. And yeah, Talking Heads just has that. I know Hawkwind was back in the 70s. I don't know if they lasted so much into the 80s, if it was just the 70s. Yeah, this is interesting. It's like a new wave sound. I'm gonna bring this back. I love that. And that guitar was just a little bit heavier and a little bit more, pulsating and frenetic. I would say that's like sort of Motorhead material. So I was wondering if by this time they were listening to what Lemmy was doing on Motorhead and saying, hey, you know what? That sounds pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know enough about Hawkwind and Lemmy at that point, and if they were listening to each other or whatever, who knows? But yeah, it just kind of strikes me that that guitar, a little bit, tamer than Motorhead stuff, but similarity. got like a Ramones type of produced sound, you know? I love that 30 seconds or so of just that sort of stripped down, da-da-da-da-da, the trap. Just, oh my God, that was so good. I want to go back. I want to go back. I want to go back. I'm going to go back. I'm sorry. Well, if you like the song, then you're like, yeah, I hope. Guitar. That's a guitar in the background there. No. Commercial? Did I get it in time? Wow. Okay. This is cool. This is really cool.
If you work remotely, then you know sending out green.
Yeah. On the other side. Yeah, 1979. A lot of bands out there, a lot of influences. I'm sure probably Hawkwind was influenced other bands because I mean I got to me this song is like a melting pot of so many bands and sounds around that time, 1979. Talking Heads, I mentioned them. Ramones, Devo, Blondie. It just, Buzzcocks, Pete Shelley, it had that new wave sound, with Pete Shelley, I think in 1981 when he came out with Homo Sapien. and he was really getting, I think that album is kind of cutting edge of new wave and everything. A lot that followed right behind that, they sort of heard that and they just caught on. A lot of what you heard in the 80s new wave sound. um, I think that they were sort of drumming to Pete Shelley's beat. But anyway, but you just all these influences, it's just reminiscent of all those bands and much more. But this song was cool. I mean, uh, on its own, its own entity. It was really cool. I love the drum roll in the beginning. Um, and like I said, it had like a Ramones type sort of produced sound. It's kind of a low muffled kind of thing with the bass. The drumming was really great. The rhythm section throughout the whole song, and the drumming just stood out to me. I think that the bass was I think that they sort of could have produced that a little bit more mic'd up, brought the bass out more, to kind of go more sort of in tandem with the drumming. I mean, I heard the bass, but it was drumming that just really sort of stood out. And that's cool because it was so good. I mean, that guy was fantastic. But I think I would have liked to hear the bass a little bit more. I loved the voice. Again, it was sort of reminiscent of that time. It had that sort of new wave kind of, da 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 da. It was that kind of like sort of cadence and sort of, you know, out pulsating, pushing. Um, yeah, I love the solo. The guitar work was fantastic, and the solo was so good. And while the guitar is going crazy, there's like these out of space sounds, sort of like lasers, and all sorts of stuff that was sort of swirling, floating around. Um, yeah, and like I said, the drumming, and just in the meantime, he just kept on just, roll after roll after roll. It was really great. Um, yeah, and there was that part too where I pulled it back because I loved how it kind of really got stripped down, pad down to almost like, it's just him singing, and I think maybe the drumming, and then you had this kind of like this weird sound like a guitar sound. Maybe it was a synthesizer, but it was kind of weird. But it was a cool weird. Yeah. Um, Jay, this is really good, man. This is fun. I'm definitely going back to this. So let me pull up some information. Um, I'm not pulling up information about the band. We kind of went into that in the Hurry on Sundown song. So check that out. But when you get into the album, so I'm into Wiki, and I got a couple of things actually on the album. And I'm starting with Wiki. It's the ninth album by Hawkwind, PXR5. And it seems like that it was released in 1979, but I think it was recorded in 78. And from what I could tell here, when I pulled the information up, um, it was shelved for a while as the band might have broken up and then got back together. So first off, Wiki's saying that this album is where, at a time when Hawkwind both understood and allowed themselves to absorb the energies of new wave. Okay, that's cool. Definitely a new wave sound. And after it was recorded and mixed, the band split up during a U.S. tour in March when Simon House left to join. Simon House was uh, well, I can't really tell what instrument he played. So put that in the comments, which one he played. I don't want to waste any more time trying to figure that out. But he joined David Bowie's band, and Robert Calvert suffered a bout of clinical depression. So the band goes into temporary hiatus, no pending promotional tour, and the album gets shelved. And then the band reemerges in mid 78 as the Hawklords to record the 25 Years On album. Um, and then the PXR5 album was eventually released in June of 79, with some sort of cryptic message saying this is the last one, the last but one. Refers to the fact that it was recorded prior to 25 Years On. So I don't know, confusing. Um, but it seemed like they were going through a confusing time themselves with the breakup, and uh, one of their band members going through depression. That must have been really tough. Let me get into the lyrics because he was singing some really interesting stuff. I was really getting into the sound more. I didn't really um, didn't really pay attention too much to the lyrics. So here we go. In the back of my neck, I can feel strange sensation. Feels like I'm heading for the crisis of all creation. Only those with death wish understand my situation. Feel like Jesus Christ heading for the stations of the cross. So one of the band members, they said that he was actually going through a depression um, during the recording, or actually after it was released. Robert Calvert. I think Robert Calvert is listed as one of the writers for the song. So if I'm right on that, then it's probably Robert writing about himself, what he was going through at that time. Uh, Let me know if you agree, if I'm right on that. So let me go on. Feels like Jesus Christ heading into a death trap, running in my death trap, chicken running in my death trap, chicken in my death trap. So it's sort of like a chicken, I don't know, running around with no head. You know how it's just kind of just running all over the place, bouncing into things, not really having any direction, not knowing where it's going, but still moving. Cruising for the crossroads of fiery crucifixion, lighten up the night sky with bitterness, distinction. While I hold the wheel of fate, smell of burning friction, I feel like a hero heading for extinction. In my death trap, running in my death trap. And just the same thing, chicken running in my death trap, death trap. It's the shell of steel or plastic, monkey on elastic, going up and down, monkey on elastic, going up and down, I've been down. Crankshaft cracking up, oil pressure going down, brake drums blowing out, tires on fire now. So uh he's kind of imagined himself or sort of put himself into like a vehicle, right? Um he's moving in a direction, and the vehicle that he's in, it's breaking down all around him, and it's just not going to last, right? Oil pressure going down, brake drums blowing out, tires going on fire, differential seize up, unbalanced camshaft. What boy, he really gets into specifics about car, right? Worn out piston rings, brake fade, hydraulic leak out, radiator overheat. That's why he was singing those lyrics, and the sound got really stripped down just to really his vocals, and it was this kind of weird sort of guitar sound, a synthesizer sound. Yeah, radiator overheat, monkey on elastic, going up and down, monkey on elastic, going up and down. Just repeats that basically, and then I think it wraps up with, in the back of my neck, I can feel strange sensation. Feels like I'm heading for the crisis of creation. So the back of my neck, right? I mean, usually, the hairs stand up on the back of your neck when something gets really kind of weird and crazy and it doesn't feel right. That's when the sort of little hairs kind of thing sort of stands up. Um, it could also mean too that it's kind of the back of his neck, something that's kind of coming at him. He can't see it, and so it's going to come at him with surprise, and it's going to knock him down. Um, Feels like I'm heading for the crisis of creation. Only those with death wish understand my situation. Feels like Jesus Christ heading for. So he's basically saying he's got a death wish, and people who have the same feeling, like him, are going to understand what he's going through. In my death trap, running in my death trap. Just repeats it over and over and over and over. Yeah, how autobiographical is this? I think if this was written by Robert, then I would say that it pretty was much on, about himself. And it's very revealing. I mean, it's, um, you know, it, it doesn't, it doesn't hold back. Um, and just, I don't know. It's just the stark nature of it, what he was going through. I hope he got out of it. Is he still alive? Let me know about Robert, and is he still around today? And was he able to sort of conquer those demons and get through that depression? Let me know. In the meantime, this is a really cool song. Jay, thanks again. Tomfoolery, and to everyone out there, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you liked it. Yeah, come on board. You know, if you haven't subscribed already, it'd be great. Subscribe, jump on board, and I'll see all of you in the next episode of Into the Music.